Good morning, everybody. Welcome, Faye Wetzel.
Thank you very much, Molly Faye.
Show filling in for Tiff today, who's in New York for another day. So we got Faye here and another guest joining us. People here around the station know Mark LeGrand. He's the general sales manager here. Everybody's thoughts today are in Boston. A lot of people from Milwaukee were actually in that race. So Mark is here because he and his wife flew out to Boston because his son, you see there in the photo, he's somewhere in the middle there, proposed to his girlfriend on Saturday night. Flew Mark and Nancy out, as well as his girlfriend, now fiance's parents. She said yes, I understand. She is sporting the ring. Monday, she then ran the marathon. Mark and his wife were at the finish line, and Mark, oh, look at her there. It's a happy moment for her, and that was before the explosion. She did actually finish the race.
Yes.
How soon before the what's the time there? She finishes the race.
She finished about 45 minutes prior to the explosion.
Okay.
My wife and I and Kelly's parents were walking towards the finish line, and because it was very crowded, we had to kind of walk around the convention center, which is right next to the finish line area, and that's where we were going to meet her after the race. Nancy and I decided that it was too crowded. We went back towards our hotel, and when we got about 2 blocks from our hotel, which was we were about 3 blocks away from the finish line, we heard the explosions.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine?
No,
I mean, here's the headline today. Marathon mayhem, and I know you read the paper. You look at the paper and you're like, I was there.
Yeah, it was very surrealistic, and it was for the first hour after the blast. We were standing at our hotel, which was about 5 blocks or so from the finish line, and waiting for. We saw hundreds of Boston police officers running towards the explosion area, and then after that, hundreds of ambulances. And we were close enough that we could still smell kind of the sulfur and everything of the explosion, and but it was very. Most people were calm, but there were a lot of people still trying to find their loved ones. People were down at the finish line and everything. So
Mark, when it happened, did you know what had happened? Could you wrap your brain around it?
We thought there was some kind of explosion,
Really?
And then about 30 seconds later, the police officers who were near us just took off running,
Okay.
And then we knew something bad was happening. When 5 minutes later, when we got back to the hotel, we were able to. There was a radio, and we were able to listen to some reports of what had happened and how serious it was.
Yeah, and you think about people losing limbs there on the site. There was this ER doctor on the Today Show today talking about how he stepped in and helped. The one thing that strikes me is there were all these wheelchairs and stretchers and things like that kind of readily available because there was an emergency tent set up for runners.
There was a tent set up for runners right at the finish line, and so the first responders were there. They just could not get the emergency vehicles in, so that's why you saw people in wheelchairs and everything. There were no ambulances that could get through the corridor of all the people yet. But you know, it was a huge event. It was joyous, beautiful day. Everyone was happy. Boston's a wonderful city. I mean, my mother grew up there, so I'm familiar with it very well. And it was just a wonderful day and a really sad end to it.
Yeah.
I heard a whole lot of that around how sad people are for Boston.
Yeah.
Because this is just their baby. They welcome the crowds.
It was
just open their
to
arms,
see,
and
the thing that also struck me was many times in the elevators going up and everything during the weekend, the amount of international people that were there.
Yes.
It's really cool. And the Boston Marathon is an iconic event in America. It is one of the top 5 marathons in the world, and people want to come and run it. And the people in the city were so friendly and everything, and it was just sad to see it end the way it did.
Well, I appreciate you joining us today. I'm sorry that your weekend ended that way. Congratulations to your son on a happy occasion for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing it in the pictures too,
Okay.
Mark. We appreciate it.